So, how to make a farm flyer? One of the eEdge will allow you to make a flyer. It's very simple. It will. The best part of it is that it includes information at the bottom of the flyer. And so we're going to start by finding something to put in the flyer. So this is Matrix. Have you made a search yet and saved the search? Okay. So first thing to do is to do a search. And I usually just pick that group. And are there condos or townhomes in your farm? All right. So we're no condos or townhomes.
95124.
All right. They're all, let's say, 95124. Okay. And then what we might want to do is we could just use that zip code, right? Because we don't necessarily have to make a map search. So 0 minus 30, just to see what that does. And over here it says there's 70 matches. Now, what will happen if we click on the map is it's going to show us where they are. And as I recall, if we looked at oops, wrong one to find it. So if we type in CIMBRINPARK and hit enter so that we can see the map as it comes up. So it doesn't cross Camden Avenue. Now, I didn't really want it to do that, but let's just go back. All right, so go away. Now, to do this exactly is a little bit of a so here, so we go back here to Matrix. I know I'm not sounding like I know what I'm doing, but if we go back here to Matrix, what we've got notice it does say Cambrian Park on this map, but what we could do is simply, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but if we were to go up, and find there's something missing. So we scroll up. How about this? So these are our different tools. One of them is a rectangle. One of them is a radius. Those are the easiest. The other one is a polygon. And what we could do just to make it easy on ourselves is we could just sort of, go over here and here. All right. Now, if you look at the map, you can see that there's this section which technically isn't in Cambrian Park. Do those people actually know that they're not in Cambrian Park? And that's Jacksall. So if we go back here, there's Jacksall. No, I wasn't too far off. You can scooch it up a little bit, maybe right up into this corner. All right. And again, we don't have to be perfect, right? And I've got this little thing. This is Lee, and it goes over to Sally. So we go down here, and zoom in. There's Sally, and I'm going to pull this down, and you can break it. It's not what I wanted. Out. So we're doing a high level. So if you want to include that little area there, you could also just get the box tool and there we go. So we click on this and it just tells us what's going on. So these are our shapes. Interesting. So once we've done this, I'm just randomly clicking on stuff. We could go back to criteria, and what this is going to show us now, we're down to 10 matches because we got rid of a lot of it. And by the way, we could always go back to the map and take a peek at it, right? So, it's good enough for government work, right? Mm-hmm. Or you could just do 95124, but the difference is that there were 70 in 95124 and only 10 in this area.
I don't need 70.
All right, yeah. And so we click on results just to see it, and we can highlight it. And what I would recommend that we do is we save. If you click on save, one of them is a save search.
Okay.
And so we'll click on that, and we're going to call this Cambrian Park. And it's good that you're there And we're going to enable this as a favorite search on the dashboard. And we're going to click on Save. Okay. Now what that means is that when you log in on your dashboard, there's going to be a search. The other thing we might want to do is create a new auto email, because you're going to be the expert. And the one thing that we might want to do is, let me go back, is we're going to go back here to actions and to criteria. And what I would suggest now is that we select all of them. Active, pending, we're adding canceled, expired, and withdrawn, which hasn't changed the number of them. You have to select them in order to save them. I don't know why. And we're going to create a new auto email, and the contact is going to be you, and we're going to just call it farm activity. And you could write yourself a little message if you want. Your email signature ought to be edited. We're going to do it ASAP rather than daily. And we're going to click on save. Now, what that's going to do is that whenever anything happens in the farm, you're going to get an email.
Cool.
That would also include canceled, expired, and withdrawn. Right? If you're the expert in the neighborhood, you should know that that one did not sell and maybe why. I would also get out there and look at all the active listings. If you haven't seen them, I would go look at all those active listings. If the pendings are such that you could look at them too, I would go look at them too.
Okay.
All right. The idea is to become the expert to look at all the listings. The other thing we can do while we're over on actions is, now that we've highlighted them, there's an easy thing to do, which is what's called a quick CMA or stats. Now, if we click on the quick CMA, you'll see what I mean by easy. It's going to produce this list, a residential summary list. And it's got pictures of all the properties, which is more than we want. But for example, for a flyer, this information here could be useful. Now, as a general rule, we don't publicize canceled, expireds, and withdrawns, right? It's just like on Facebook, you wouldn't say so-and-so was dumped, and right? You know what I'm saying? Okay. You want to, this is like saying that, he left her, the wife was cheating on him. This is bad news, which we normally do not report. Right. Okay. So, and it would, if there were any, it would include it. But if you look at this page of statistics here could be useful, right? And so one way of doing it is you could just go all the way down to the bottom, and you could even do the quick statistics if you wanted to. And you could, there's a lot of different things you could do. Right. So we could just borrow this information. Right. And let's see what happens if we do. Let's just see what happens. If we go to Microsoft Word. And sometimes it works better once you've downloaded the actual file. See, that doesn't work very good. All right. Now, don't save. Now, what we want to do then is save this and put this someplace where we can find it. I'm just going to stick it on my desktop. Now, I have a program. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I have a program called Foxit. And what Foxit is, if I open it up, Foxit is like Adobe Acrobat, but it's not. Now, Adobe Acrobat's a relatively expensive program. Foxit isn't particularly cheap. We're talking about hundreds of dollars.
Okay.
So it isn't a $10 program. And what it will do, however, is it would allow us to, and by the way, we have Adobe Acrobat on all of the computers at the office. So what it would allow you to do is to go to File and Export. And one of the choices is to Microsoft Office. That doesn't always work very well. We could just see what happens. One of them is HTML. We have too many pages for that. But let's just see what happens if we try to save this as a Word document. Let's just see. This will be, it's analyzing. It takes it a while to do this. It's usually not very good at it. But one of the choices is, and this is true for Acrobat or Fire or Foxit or one of the others, one of the choices is we could save it as an image. And then the image you could just crop and put it into a flyer. See, so notice it didn't do a very good job.
Right.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go to File and we're going to go to Export and we're going to say we want an image. I like PNGs. It doesn't really matter. And we only want the current page and we're just going to put it there. So it saved it as an image. Right now, if you do this, if you're how far should I go? I always go too far. So let's say you're not at the office, right? And you don't want to go buy Adobe Acrobat.
Right.
And you've got this PDF, but you'd like it to be an image. What you want to do is, and there's other sites that will do this, but I've just used one for a long time called Zamzar. And what Zamzar will do is it will convert stuff. See this very simple interface? So we choose the file and we go here to that quick CMA and click on open and we convert the file and here are all the different choices. And by the way, it sometimes does a better job of making it into Microsoft Word than, but let's just pick a JPEG, or if we want to be consistent, we'll pick another PNG file. They want to know our email address, and we click on convert. And what Zamzar is going to do is it's going to convert the file into images and send it back to me for free. Right? So now you don't have to come into the office. We have to watch some ads and things like that. But if you come back into the office and let me just, anyhow, we'll have to wait for a moment. So the idea behind that is that if you want to convert a PDF into an image, Zamzar. If you were to just Google search, how do I convert a PDF into an image for free online, you'll find a bunch of that. So we're assuming that you're going to be able to do that. So now we're going to make a flyer. We're going to go to My Marketing and click on Create Marketing Materials. Okay. And by the way, if you have Microsoft Office with the version that has Publisher, which most people don't.
I don't.
And so that's why we're doing this. So now that we're here, we're going to click on Flyers. I just clicked on the little flyer button. And basically, there's not a lot of choices. But this is what you would want to pick one. So basically, what we're looking for one where the bottom is something you like, right? And preferably one not too cluttered. So to do something easy, how about this one?
Okay.
Right. So we're going to click on this. And it's going to, and then we're going to click on personalize. And we're going to wait for it to spin around. Then we're going to click on start editing. Now, really, the only reason we're doing this is for this flyer for this part at the bottom, right? So we don't have to do all that. And what you can do is if you click on stuff, you can just remove it, right? Perfect. And so notice you're not going to be able to remove everything, like that box, right. That circle is not going anywhere, right? And so we go here, we remove that, we go here, and we remove that, we go here, and we remove that. And if you're thinking, well, I don't want to work around that circle, we go to add, and we click on rectangle, and you cover the whole thing up, right? And so we drag it down, and then all the way down here, and then we go up to background color, we make it white, and so now we've got a nice clean white background. Okay. Now that we've done this, we're going to start to add stuff, and this is not, sometimes people think this is a little bit painful at the beginning, but what we're going to, but once you've done it, you don't have to do it good. CAMBRIN PARK update, right? And then I would pick a different font, Arial black stands out. I like verdanda, but how about Arial black? We're centering it and we make it big. So how big do you want it?
That's a little too big.
Little too big.
One line.
One line. All right.
Okay.
All right. So now we've done this, and then we scooch it around to where it fits.
Okay.
Now it could be bigger than that. My general rule is that the flyer should be something that if you tacked it to a wall across the room, people could figure out what it is, right? So that it would be really obvious what it is. So an example would be to make this like that big.
Okay.
Now, we could get fancy and reverse it out and all that, but I think the best thing to do is something that's black and white. Now that we've done that, we're going to click on Add Image, Browse, and remember this quick CMA image. It's going to eventually upload it, and it looks terrible. But and what we want to do is notice there's a crop thing, and sometimes this doesn't move well. Here, let me just cancel. All right. I don't know. And so we're going to
Okay.
all right. Now this could be made. If I were going to crop it, let's see what. Let me crop it. And I don't know why it's being so. There we go. So we may not even want your information down at the bottom the way it was. Well, anyhow, why don't we just cancel? Okay. So the cropping is an issue here.
All right. Well,
okay.
Can you type free text in that flyer?
Yes, you can still type in free text. Now, what an option for cropping is if we go to Microsoft and we type in Paint, right? Paint is a free Microsoft program. And what we're now going to do is go to File and Open. And we're going to go to the desktop. And we're going to pick in that image. And so, for example, this part at the bottom you may not want.
Right. So
what we can do, and the quick summary of comparable properties, we may not want that either.
Right.
So what we do is we go here and we select rectangle, and then do you want residential summary or residential single family? I would say let's just start with the word active.
I would do just active pending.
Well, people care about the solds a lot.
True. Active pending sold.
And then
okay.
And then let's see, what have I done? All right, let's see. So we have to make it the right size. View full screen. Thank you. It didn't help at all. So we're going to zoom out a little bit. And now we're going to go back here and we're going to click on the rectangular, selection form. And then once we're done, we click on crop. And what it's done is it's created that little box.
Okay.
And there's a little part up here that I don't like. So let's go to rectangular selection and Only now what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in and then go back here, rectangular, and then just get it a little more accurate, and then hit crop. Okay, File, Save As, and we're going to just call this Cambrian Park 2, and hit Save. Now, when we go back here, I'm just going to delete this and go to Add Image, Browse, and Cambrian Park 2. And what it's now done is it's got rid of some of that excess stuff.
Okay.
Right. So, how about that? Right. And then you could, if you wanted to, add some stuff, like add text box. And we're going to drag this down here. So a little blurb about the redevelopment. So Cambrian Park
Plaza
sold, and I'm not at this moment ready to type something up, right? But how about this? Find out what your home is worth in this ever-changing real estate market. You live in the area? I am a BRIN Park real estate specialist. Call me today for a free property valuation. And the phone number you'd like them to call would be 408-239 9643. Now, having done this, what we could do is, and so this could be one call to action. Over here could be a blurb about something going on in the news. So what and then there's some other things that we might want to.
And then my BRE number has to be on there,
right? But we're going to make it so we don't have to do this again. Okay, what is your?
019 67454.
Okay, so now that we've done this, we're going to make it like that, but we're going to make your name big. We're going to make it bigger. We're going to make that big. And I would fool with it a little more so that we want this to be readable across the room. We would like that to be readable as well. BRE number, not so much. We could make.
Why doesn't the BRE number go down at the bottom of my name and all that kind of stuff? Is there a way to put it?
I'm going to. It's just that I can't do it from while we're in the flyer. Okay, so but right now for this flyer, we're going to copy that so I don't have to think about it again. So we're going to just save this now. But over here, you could put something else. Okay, so what we're going to do is go to Save As, and we're going to call this Cambrian Park CIGHBORHO update. And I usually put in 3-9-2015 because just because we're going to hit Save. Exit editor. Sure. So we can still edit this more. But you notice how hard was that, right? Right, and there's stuff here, and you could make borders around it and reverse it out and change the colors. My suggestion would be you want something you can do black and white, right? If you're going to, especially if you've got a large number.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm going to do now is stop this.